Right now on ABC 10 News at 4 o'clock, we are preparing for a scorcher this weekend. A flex alert is now in effect as California braces for intense heat. We have the forecast. Plus, the CDC's updated guidelines suggest students and teachers can remove masks in the fall. But that may not be the case in San Diego and the rest of California. And a silver lining from the pandemic, an in-depth look at the now common practice that's helping mothers dealing with postpartum depression.
ABC 10 News at 4 starts now.
Happening right now, a flex alert is in effect for California. This comes as intense heat is expected across the state this weekend, including parts of San Diego County. Californians are urged to reduce their energy use to avoid straining the state's power grid. The flex alert is in effect until 9 p.m. tonight. Let's bring in ABC 10 News meteorologist Angelica Campos. She's tracking this heat right now in our region. Hi, Angelica.
Hi, Kim, and I would not be surprised if that flex alert is extended into tomorrow. The temperatures will continue soaring across the county. Look at the numbers right now, 91 degrees in Ramona, 90 in Escondido, but we also have to take into account the humidity because it does make the temperatures even more dangerous for anyone who has to be outside for a long period of time. And it is humid, even though the numbers are a little bit better than yesterday. We're starting to see more 50s instead of 60s, but it is hot and humid. A heat advisory remains in effect with temperatures potentially reaching up to 100 degrees into our mountains. And for the deserts, the temperatures tomorrow and through the weekend really are going to range between 115 to 120. It is possible we could be very close to records once again. We almost sound like a broken record because we've seen this so many times already, but it will be brutal through the weekend, so we'll have to be very cautious. I'll have your 7-day forecast coming up.
We'll see you in just a minute. And you can download the ABC 10 News mobile app to keep track of the weather conditions in your area anytime. Just search 10 News in the App Store. And now to coronavirus. California is keeping its mask requirement for schools despite new CDC rules. And this comes as we're seeing an uptick in the Delta variant of COVID cases across the state. We begin with ABC 10 News reporter Jennifer Kastner. She's live outside University City High School with reaction from parents and children on the CDC's new guidance. Jen?
Yeah, Kimberly, that's right. Mixed reactions and some confusion tonight. That's because state and federal authorities are saying different things about mask requirements. The state is still going to continue to require them. Local parents and their children weighing in Friday about the CDC's new guidance that vaccinated students and their teachers do not need to wear masks come this fall, except if they're on school buses. The recommendations are not mandatory. Mother Esmeralda Galvez said that she favors the idea of vaccinated kids going maskless in the classroom.
If they feel safe, then yeah.
Daughter Isabella, who goes to San Diego Unified's University City High School, said that masks haven't been all that uncomfortable, but it would be nice to return to a sense of normalcy.
Yeah, it does. You get to see your friends' faces and everything. Haven't seen them in a while.
San Diego Unified's school board president Richard Barrera wrote to ABC 10 News Friday that the current policy is that all students and staff need to be masked, with a few exceptions for those with disabilities, and that the masking policy is in place now during summer school. He added that the district will follow guidelines from state health officials for the fall. The state said Friday that California will continue to require masks in school settings. San Diego Unified is reporting that it will need a few days to assess the new guidelines from the CDC to see whether the local policy will be updated. And San Diego County health officials are also weighing in on this news. We have more on that tonight on ABC 10 News next at 5 p.m. Reporting live tonight, Jennifer Kastner, ABC 10 News.
Jennifer.
The simple fact is, in order to slow the spread of COVID, we need people to get the vaccine.
As COVID cases increase across the state, county leaders urge people to get vaccinated. ABC 10 News reporter Adam Rakusin is live at the county building with why health experts are keeping a close eye. Adam?
And it's because of those rising numbers. But just because the numbers are going up doesn't mean that everything is going back into lockdown. It just means that health officials are taking an opportunity to try and encourage people to get a vaccine.
95% of the cases from March 1st until today. of COVID cases are those who are unvaccinated. 98% of COVID hospitalizations from March 1st till today are those who are unvaccinated. 96% of COVID deaths from March 1st until today are those who are unvaccinated.
San Diego County Supervisor Nathan Fletcher didn't mince words when talking about the increase in COVID-19 cases and who's testing positive.
The age groups that have the highest numbers of cases in San Diego, it's actually the 20 to 29-year-old age group is the highest, followed by actually that teenage age group, which is the second highest.
Across the state, the number of confirmed cases, hospitalizations, and ICU beds in use have all increased. Also on the move, the highly contagious Delta variant. New numbers from the state show it's now the dominant variant in California. In San Diego County, there have been 54 confirmed cases of the Delta variant. 4 people have been hospitalized and 1 person died. Those numbers have doubled since last week, and there could be even more cases. Not every positive test is sequenced to figure out the exact makeup of the virus.
Out of all of the tests that are being sequenced, we're only at about 10 to 15% of those are coming back Delta variant. That is much lower than the state of California as a whole. And we don't have absolute clarity into what percentage of all tests are being sequenced.
What health officials say they do know is how people can protect themselves.
The simple fact is, in order to slow the spread of COVID, we need people to get the vaccine.
And I talked to Nathan Fletcher and county medical staff about how the county is doing with the numbers and if anything could be changing or if it's business as usual. Right now, nothing is changing. However, that could change if the numbers keep increasing in the state. You might see some direction from the California Department of Public Health. But right now, everything remains the same. Adam Rakusin, ABC 10 News.
Thank you, Adam. There are conflicting statements about a COVID-19 booster shot. The CDC and FDA say those who are fully vaccinated do not need a third shot yet, but Pfizer says its vaccine is seeing waning immunity. It plans to ask for emergency authorization next month for a booster dose. Doctors remind us the plan all along with vaccines is still working.
The answer is that our vaccines still are very, very effective in keeping us out of the hospital, in averting severe disease. That's what they were designed to do.
Every patient that I've had to hospitalize due to COVID-19 has been unvaccinated.
For vaccinated people, there is still a low risk of infection, even with the highly contagious Delta variant. Pfizer says other countries are seeing that 6 months after vaccination, people experience less protection from infection and symptomatic disease, but people are still protected from serious illness. President Biden nominated Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti to be U.S. ambassador to India. This comes as the country is overwhelmed with a surge of COVID cases and deaths. Garcetti's nomination was expected for months. He reached his term limit as mayor. His existing term runs through December of 2022. Garcetti's nomination must be confirmed by the Senate. No word yet on who would fill his mayoral position. President Biden signed a wide-ranging executive order today. He says the order promotes competition to lower prices, to increase wages, and to take another critical step toward an economy that works for everyone. The order includes 72 initiatives across a broad swath of industries, such as technology, banking, and airlines. It also pushes government agencies to consider how their decisions will impact competition.
One of the executive order measures has to do with hearing aids. Right now, people have to see a doctor or a specialist to get one. The White House is directing the Department of Health and Human Services to issue rules in a matter of months so hearing aids can be sold over the counter. That should increase competition and drive prices down. Currently, 4 hearing aid manufacturers control a majority of the market. Hearing aids are often not covered by insurance and so expensive that only a fraction of people who need them can actually afford them. The White House is also encouraging the Federal Trade Commission to create rules around right to repair. That would effectively end manufacturing restrictions on access to parts, repair guides, and software needed to make repairs on everything from cell phones to cars, medical devices, farming and military equipment. Now, we have a good indication on where the FTC stands on the matter. In May, the agency issued a report investigating damage done to consumers when they don't have a choice to repair and why manufacturers claim they can't allow access.
And the FTC found there was no evidence really to support manufacturers' repair restrictions, but there was real harm to consumers.
The U.S. Public Interest Research Group is one of many organizations invested in improving access to repair products. The nonprofit points out a limited repair market is more expensive and time-consuming, and it allows manufacturers to push consumers into more upgrades, which in turn cuts down on the lifespan of products and creates more waste and pollution from the new product manufacturing. U.S. PIRG says that local economies will also benefit when more small business repair shops can open,
which are also really important for kind of teaching tech skills and creating a better environment and a more tech literate populace.
Right to repair legislation has come up in more than half of states this year. There's also a bill in Congress, but this new presidential support is the most significant influence yet.